The Brewers 1 out away from advancing to the NLCS. Abner Uribe gets Carson Kelly on the slider to ground out. And that is your ball game. Milwaukee going to face the Dodgers in the NLCS. First time they won a playoff series since 2018. All right, now we bring in CBS Sports MLB writer Matt Snyder to break it all down. And there's so many great storylines here, Matt. When you look at the Brewers' makeup and the Dodgers, we know what they bring to the table, the defending World Series champs. When it comes to the pitching matchups, right, who holds the advantage in your eyes there?
I mean, in terms of the starting pitching, you've got to go with the Dodgers right now. I mean, it's Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Right there is a really, really nice big three. And, they have really they had major bullpen issues down the stretch, but Roki Sasaki has really kind of solidified the bullpen as well. I think the Dodgers look on paper like they have the much better rotation. When you look at the Brewers, Freddie Peralta is definitely an ace. Quinn Priester was terrible against the Cubs in Game 3. There's question marks there. Jacob Misiorowski looks like they like to use an opener in front of him. Chad Patrick, really, really good pitcher, but they've mostly been using him in relief in this Cubs series. It'll be interesting to see what direction they take. Something to watch on the Brewers' end there is Brandon Woodruff. Brandon Woodruff was injured for the first round of the playoffs. There's a possibility he might return. He could throw like an ace, much like Freddie Peralta could, much like Jacob Misiorowski could, much like Chad Patrick we've seen a little bit. And I neglected to mention Blake Snell on the Dodgers end as well. Just the two-time Cy Young winner there
right.
The Dodgers have. But on paper, it looks like a drastic advantage for the Dodgers just based on name recognition. But I don't think that anybody should be counting out the Brewers or thinking that they don't have firepower there, because they do. Misiorowski, Patrick, if Woodruff comes back, those are some live arms.
They are some live arms. And get this, you know this, the Brewers, they won every game against the Dodgers this season, so they've got to be feeling good, even though we know sometimes the regular season does not always translate to the postseason. So that's on the pitching, right? The pitching front, excuse me. What about when it comes to the starting lineup, or not the starting lineup, the batting lineup, right? That order, because the Dodgers, they are loaded. They got 3 MVPs on their roster. The Brewers, they have talented guys as well. But does LA hold the edge there as well? Or do you think it gets a little interesting?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they've got Shohei Ohtani. They've got Freddie Freeman. Mookie Betts has been his old self for the last 6 weeks or so, is really hitting the ball hard in the NLDS against the Phillies. You get Teoscar Hernandez. The lineup gets deeper a little bit down there with Max Muncy now that Will Smith is over his hand injury. That's a really, really deep lineup. So, yeah, the Dodgers, again, they have the better rotation. They have the better lineup. I do think the Brewers have the advantage in the bullpen, especially if they get Brandon Woodruff back. And so they can, if you have an extra starter there, that just makes the bullpen better because you kick guys down to the bullpen from the rotation. It's interesting. I do think that the Brewers have some advantages here, but if you just said, like, hey, on paper, who has the better rotation? Who has the better lineup? It's the Dodgers. And almost kind of a blowout. I don't want to discount the Brewers at all, but come on. I mean, look at the Dodgers payroll. They're loaded. Yeah,
they are loaded, and they back it up with their play. So you have this, right? The Dodgers, they have the edge in hitting. They have the edge in starting pitching. The Brewers, the edge in the bullpen. So ultimately, Matt, who is advancing to the World Series?
I actually am going to say the Brewers here. I think, look, they've been the best team in baseball since late May. They are like the whole is better than the sum of their parts type team. It's perfectly encapsulated in that statement there. When you look at this Brewers team, it's if you just looked at just some of the talent on paper in the Cubs series, I think you would have said, the Cubs have better players. The Cubs should be better. But if you watch the series, it's very evident that the Brewers were the better team there. And I think we're going to see something similar in the NLCS. The Brewers are going to have guys like Bryce Terang hitting a home run tonight. So many people who are going to be casually watching the series, who don't regularly watch the Brewers, are going to say, I have no idea who that is. Player like Sal Frelick in right field. So many people are going to say, I don't even know who that guy was. I have a column that's coming out right before the series where I make the argument the Brewers are what so many people think the Rays are. Everybody talks about the Rays. They're the best run organization. They have the shoestring payroll. They win every single trade. Nobody should ever trade with them. The Brewers beat the Rays in a trade for Willie Adames just 3 years ago. The Brewers are the best run organization in baseball if you do it by the dollar, by salary. The Brewers are unbelievable at developing their own guys. They're unbelievable at winning trades. They get every ounce of skill out of their players' talent. And I think we're going to see it on the stage against the Dodgers, and I think they're going to knock off the defending champs in 7. We'll say 7 in American Family Field right there in front of those Milwaukee fans, and they'll see their first ever NL pennant. They won the AL in 1982. This would be their first ever NL pennant.
Yeah, and if you are right, Matt, it'll be their second World Series appearance as they're looking to get their first World Series title. And yeah, sign me up for 7 games between the Dodgers and the Brewers. Appreciate the time, Matt. All right, so for the Dodgers, yeah, they lost the season series, but they won both previous postseason meetings versus Milwaukee, so that's something to keep in mind. In LA, they're seeking to become the first team to win back-to-back World Series titles since 2000, so 25 years ago.